Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. My good people, I hope I find you well. Hopefully you are having a very brilliant day wherever you are. If it's night, morning, afternoon, whatever time of the day, just know that I have respectfully greeted you. Right, let me go straight into the issues today. It's not much political, but it's still going to end up becoming political, right? I want to talk about three things at most, and I think I'll be done. Very short clip video. First, let me talk about the media. Media, we are not here to control anybody. Any person has got the freedom and the license to roam freely and do what they feel like and report about whatever they feel like reporting, putting whatever topic and anything that you think thrills you, or even thrills your audience. That's not a problem. But one thing I'm asking people, you know, the situation in Zimbabwe, it's not a joking matter. It's a very serious issue. It affects every person who is called Zimbabwean or who has got a Zimbabwean identity. Before we talk about some other outsiders who have got investments inside our nation. So when we are reporting, please let's gain credibility. Once this situation is out of the way, you don't want people not to believe you in anything else that you'll be saying later. So it's always good to be a person of credibility. Three things that I ask for. Number one, if you are a media company, I have always said, go and register your media company in Zimbabwe. I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying that. It's easy for you to get access to the personnel or the players within the political field. Because as we speak right now, everything that's happening is not on public domain. But you can only get information pertaining to what's happening if you are number one, neutral, number two, registered, so that you be controlled by the laws of the country. Anywhere you go, even on Facebook, you know that if you put wrong reports or false news, you can be blocked. There's always going to be terms and conditions that guide you on how you're supposed to be broadcasting. In a neutral position, you will end up having access to both parties of the divide, especially within the ZANU-PF. Even let's say it's ZANU-PF against opposition, you should be able to be accessing the players from both political parties. Most people are not able to do that because already you are sided. So there's no way out. You can get information from the opposition. Right now, all those people that used to support opposition are failing to lay their hands or get involved into the divide within ZANU-PF. Because you cannot access those people because you are already known to be an outsider. There are some people who are lying out there, playing with people's emotions. They will tell you that I spoke to so and so, I did this. But listen, at this point in time, no one is speaking to nobody unless they know you, they trust you, or they've been talking to you. Yes, that's when you can get to talk to 1 or 2, 3, 4 people, depending on who they are. Then we've got the person of Comrade Geza. Right now, I can rest assure you, he doesn't have a mobile phone. His son is in South Africa. He himself, Comrade Geza, doesn't have a mobile phone. And I'll tell you why he doesn't have a mobile phone. Last time when he was doing the broadcast, before the latest one where he just disappeared. Last time when he was doing the broadcast and it was interrupted. Why? Because remember, it's a divide. And the people from intelligence were looking for him, trying to locate, trying to identify his location. So they tampered around with the network and it jagged. That made them to know exactly where he was. Realizing that, privately he was moved from where he was securely kept to another totally different place. This time he thought nobody knew. But what they didn't know is he had a mobile phone with him that was being used to track him down. Ever since then, he has done away with the mobile phone. Right now, he doesn't have a mobile phone at all. So if somebody says he has called Comrade Geza, that person is lying. I'm telling you myself, that person is lying. Secondly, the last broadcast that he had, it just ended abruptly and nobody knows what happened. I'll tell you exactly what happened. In the process of broadcasting, because he had advertised that he was going to come for 2030 time-wise, during that time, there was insurgents, and they realized it while they were because everyone was focused to the broadcasting. Then they realized there was an insurgence. So when they heard it, it was just a matter of taking cover. Everything was just cut off. You might be surprised where he is. I'm not the best person to be talking about somebody's health. He's a man I've known for a long time. He's a man I've loved for a long time. Let me tell you, ZANU-PF has always been ZANU-PF. I have worked with these people. They are one. It's only differences that they are having at this point in time. The old man has actually been in front to try and front the M31 movement. But you must also understand that he has got his own personal health conditions. That cannot be denied by anyone. I'm the one who's telling you. I cannot come here and lie to people. So you have to respect the old man. He's putting effort in trying to drive the vision that he's carrying, which other people are supporting. But you also have got to make sure that you respect the old man. Right now, he's wearing a very thin vest because he's sitting on what you call treason charges if his mission fails. So we are not playing, it's not joke matter here. When he came live, he mentioned names that are not supposed to be on public domain. Names like Comrade Muda, killing people. That wasn't good. Those issues were supposed to be dealt with in. But he thought if he brings them out that way and then make a call for the ousting of the sitting president, he will get the support, and they thought maybe their move will happen within a very shortest possible time. But now, because it didn't, it means to say, game on. The fight is on. So this is no joke matter. I will explain to you what's happening. So don't try and say that I spoke to so and so. He doesn't have a phone, because a phone is what is used to track a person. 4 things that make somebody to be identified where they are. Number 1, a phone. Number 2, a SIM card. Number 3, the network you are using. Number 4, the booster that you connect to. Those 4, through binary, broken down together, broken open in the IT, you can identify who called where, regardless of you changing a SIM card. As long as you are using the same phone that once made a phone call to somebody else, the track is there. Those are what we call data traces. You can be caught. So you're not smart. As most people think they are smart when they change SIM cards. That's not how it works. We are not into that. Let's put that aside. Let's move to the next thing. Right. The connections. It's something that I would want to know, that I would want to mention. Most people say, when I tell them, it's not easy for you to get information from this person, from that person, or from this side to that side, but I'll try and speak to 1 or 2 people. If you go in the comment section, they will tell you, but you're saying people cannot be called, but how are you managing to call them? How are you managing to talk to them? I've never been known to speak about politics. I've always been known to be a person who's always in his quiet corner. People that know me very, very well, they'll tell you that I'm a very quiet person. I'm always in my quiet corner. I'm one person who doesn't have enemies. If you believe you're my enemy, I don't even know where I wronged you. I'm one person who doesn't have enemies because I'm a pastor. My duty is to make sure that I bring people together. That's all I do. Listen, let me show you the hierarchies, and let me show you how well connected I am. Some other people that might think they know better things than I do. One guy came into my inbox and wrote a very long paragraph. I had time to read it. He's trying to tell me I'm from the Blue Movement, whatever. I'm just shaking my head and saying, this one. And yet these are the people that they are thinking they've got a leader in. This person, they just switch him off and they know that they don't have a leader in the way he's claiming. I looked at him and I see that the person has got a channel. The channel has got a very good following. He has got a good following because he's saying things that people want to hear, but things that will never change nothing. First and foremost, let me make this open declaration and open acclamation for people to understand. Number one, I've got Honorable Nelson Chamisa personal mobile number. Let this be known to all of you. Number two, I have lived long in the UK from since 2002. And the right-hand person of Comrade Chamisa is Comrade, maybe you didn't know, it's Honorable Patrick Cheza. Most people don't even know that person. Let me explain him to you so that you know the people who are the leaders of that party. I've lived with Patrick Cheza in the UK for all this time. Same church, same branch, maybe next door, maybe we'd sit next to each other. That's how much I know of him. But in our whole life, we've never discussed anything to do with politics. I don't discuss politics with nobody. Do your hustles, do whatever you do, that's up to you. I don't get myself involved in political discussions with people. Who is this Patrick Cheza? Let me explain to you. He is one person who, if he cooks, 100% I can tell you that Nelson Chamisa will eat the food without hesitation. Because that's his right-hand person. You might know of other people and think they are his right-hand people. No, Patrick Cheza is Nelson Chamisa's right-hand person. After the elections, Nelson Chamisa went quiet and nobody knew where he was because he never spoke. The first time that he appeared publicly was at Patrick Cheza's, was at the burial of Patrick Cheza's mother. That's where he appeared. When they did their ball or their charity event, that person who was sitting next to Nelson Chamisa, big build, I'll put the photo here to attach so that you see him. That's Nelson Chamisa's right-hand person. And I know Patrick Cheza. So, but we don't discuss anything to do with politics. And I've never approached him to talk about anything about politics. That's how close I am that's how close I am to knowing those people. So don't put acclamations of things that you don't know and want to appear as if you are a big person in the opposition party. You are not. The big people, I know them personally. Some people that used to be in the Triple C and they have jumped boats, I will tell you, Pardon Japajap, I know them. Pardon Japajap is my brother. Yeah? Proper data, Liwayo, him and me, same surname, same blood. From there, I can even connect you to other people. People like Honorable Opam Chinguri. Proper data, Liwayo, same surname as me. Yeah? I can even take you to the former Minister of State, Harare Province. Yeah? My blood sister. You understand? ZANU-PF. So, some of these people, I'm more than close to them than you think. But I don't say these things because I don't want to be politically implicated. All I'm trying to do is I'm giving you information so that you know what's happening. Because as of now, the streets are quiet. No one is getting information from anywhere. It's a game of military intelligence. Let me show you something that you might not have known. This fight that you are witnessing to today, this fight that you are alluding to today, clapping hands for, other people wishing for whatever they are wishing, is being out there, but not in private. Not in public, but in private. Recall this. You remember when Neville Muchangwa was arrested for importing this network thing, what do you call it? When Neville Muchangwa was arrested from his place of residence and was put in prison, if you remember, Honorable Muchangwa, the mother and the father, shouting to make sure that their son is released. Who had captured him? Yet people say it's the sitting president who's capturing the courts. Who had arrested him? And if they are with the president, how could they allow for Honorable Muchangwa's son, Neville, to be in prison or to be arrested? It is because the VP had exercised his authority over them. Reason being, the fight had already started before it was made to spill. That's why you saw Comrade Muchangwa, Honorable Muchangwa, coming public to denigrate the Vice President, Comrade Constantine Gouveia Chiwenga. It's because the fight has always been there. It hadn't spilled onto the public. It's Comrade Muchangwa who brought it onto the public. But in private, we knew the fight already. So the internal divide should not be joined into. Allow these people to fight on their own. Don't get involved at all. Allow them to fight on their own. We know exactly what's happening. If it's about the break-in at the KG6, there is somebody who's authorized to talk about it officially. But now here is the biggest challenge that you will face. How are you going to approach the person? When I've always been shouting to many people to say, be neutral, number one. Number two, make sure that if you are a media company, you are registered in Zimbabwe. Reason I say that, it's so that you'll be governed by the laws of Zimbabwe. You don't report falsehood, and then you can be taken to account for whatever you report. Because why people are not doing it is because they want to continue to throw lies to the people, words and statements that they know people want to hear, especially those with itchy ears who just want to hear things that they want to hear. But the truth of the matter is, once you are registered, I'll give you the names. The KG6 incident, there is one person allowed and permitted by the government to answer anything that happened there. So if you want to know more, here is the person. It's Colonel Masawi. He is at KG6 in the military intelligence. He is the person who's allowed to talk about this. So when I'm telling you about what's happening inside, trust me, believe me, nobody else, unless you are in good books with the right people, that's when you will get the right information. Don't feed wrong information to people. I'm not here to prove nothing. I'm just here to correct the narrative of people throwing things all over. You're confusing people. Right now, the fight is not public. It's gone private. The fight is not among the MPs and everyone. No, the fight is within the barracks. That's where power still needs to be balanced. Whoever is defeated in the barracks is the one that will be ousted. As of now, the fight is on. It's not with the people that we are thinking. I think I've made this clear. If I haven't made anything clear, you come to me. Anything that you want, you can ask me. After this, for the first time, I think, I will be opening up the channel so that we do an open discussion and tell people one or two things that they need to know about politics. Because you hear some people say, ZANU ngai end. ZANU will never go. Because you don't know the structure of ZANU and you don't know what comprises of ZANU. ZANU comprises of so many units. Basically, we are in one-party state, undeclared officially, but we are a one-party state. The military is ZANU-PF. The police is ZANU-PF. The intelligence is ZANU-PF. The courts is ZANU-PF. So how can you want to remove everyone? How are you going to remove them? There is a way that people have to shift in to work with that system. Jonathan Moyo knew how to work with ZANU-PF. He said any transformation or change that you want, it's got to be done from within ZANU-PF. He understood politics. That's why he's the person that was eliminated out of the country of Zimbabwe, because he understood politics more than what other people do. You can gather in your millions, but for as long as the structures are not satisfied or given assurance, you are wasting your time. You can start the yellow movement, you can start the blue movement, you can start the black movement, you can start the red movement, you can start the orange movement. For as long as those structures are not assured or somebody is not binding by what they want, you are wasting your time. Right now, what's happening is what you are always crying for. That's why I'm saying, regai dzemudanga dzimbotungana. Dzichagadzirisa zvoda kugadziriswa. Idzo dzemudanga idzodzi. Siyai dzakadaro dzimboite sei? Dzimbotungani. Hadzisi kuda ma-outsiders. Siyai vakadaro sovambotungani. Wekuka kakumhorosa, pindura. Wekuka kakumhorosa, pindura. Ndizvozvo, don't take sides. As of now, don't take sides. Then I would want to explain to you about the current situation right now. Is the country is continuing normally as it was. The sitting president running the show because he's still the sitting president. What's being discussed in the barracks is what's important, because now there's nobody who trusts anybody. While it's others are believing some have been paid, others are claiming that others have been paid offshore. So there's a lot of tension. The divide is just too massive. But are they going to come together? All I can tell you is they are trying to reach what we call a professional agreement, where they don't want bloodshed, but they want to find a way forward. 3 things that are being spoken of right now in current discussion. Number 1, why can't we allow the sitting president to finish his term until 2028? That's talk number 1. Talk number 2, how are we going to deal with the situation in the process that Geza's life is endangered because he has led a movement that has challenged the situation? There's a divide within the military. How are we going to restructure ourselves so that we gain credibility from within the people who are the electorate, and also the neighboring countries, and also the governing groups like the SADC, the AU, and the EU, all that? They are working on all that. They are trying to find a way to work together and reach an addendum, reach an agreement. Number 3, they haven't stopped a group that is working on what we call a transitional government. This I have said, and I've put names out. There's people like Professor Ibo Mandaza. They are sitting on that document. They haven't been told to pull off. It's also being touted as an option to be followed if people don't get to agree. So I want you to take note of these things. No wonder why there's not a lot of information out there, because it's not made to be public. Then if the West comes to the West, some are touting that if we are to go into these are just options being explored. Let's say the first 2 have failed, and now we are working to go for transitional government. They are looking at having a person of Nelson Chamisa, not with his party. I want you to get this. To lead in the national transition. Reason being, they believe that he carries a trust with a lot of people because of his innocence that he has always portrayed. Right? They say he's wearing a jacket of innocence, so he can be heard. I want you to listen to this. But while he is leading the national transition, he's not going to lead it as the president. No, he's just going to be a leader of the transition. That's it. Now, question is, that was being posed, especially the people that's drafting that national transition document or draft. They are saying, what if he refuses? The chances are a well-renowned bishop from a church should be put in place so that people faithfully will believe that we have a person of God or man of God or woman of God, whoever, who will lead us through this transition, but backed up with the army. So that person will be used as a face so that there be peace and trust from within the people. All these are options that are being explored. But I'm not saying there's one option that's going or vying as of now. As I told you, there's not one power right now with absolute power. Power is limited. Power is trimmed from everyone. And power is trimmed from every camp. So as of now, stay tuned. I'll be bringing you more news. It's just to quieten a lot of things. The last but not least, the people that posted a video. This is just my advice to you people. The people that posted a video of this guy. Yes, you did not show your face, right? You did not show your face. You showed a gun and you were loading bullets into the Gazette before you pegged it onto the pistol. Let me tell you what you need to do. Delete it ASAP. Before charges are pressed or hand is pressed. And I'll tell you how you get caught. All those people on media, on social media, who shared that you have endangered your lives, I'll tell you how. You never share anything or never share content from any station or any channel that doesn't have a person who's showing face like I'm doing. You can share this content because if ever anything is said that you've quoted from here, you can point to me and say, I got it from that person. That's what will redeem you from being charged. But if you share content from people who are creating content using the AI and are not revealing face, you are in trouble. Whoever shared the video of that guy loading a gun, if you are tracked because you shared it, it means to say you are somewhat connected to that person. How did you get the video? Where did you get the video? Those are going to be very difficult questions for you to answer. And before you know it, you can be in trouble. I'll give you a good example. You know, in Zimbabwe, when Comrade Blessed Rene Sugeza was saying, people have to go for a march, and there was a car that was put outside Wicknell's place and was burnt. Do you know who was troubled? No, the person who sold the car. It was a car sales, because the person he sold the car to did not change the name. It is that person who got in trouble. And you are only redeemed until you identify who you sold the car to. So when you share content, you have got to be able to identify the source. If you cannot identify the source or how you relate with the source, you are the person and you are the one in trouble. So if you have shared anything along those lines, go and delete that video ASAP. I'm telling you from what's being said behind the scenes. I know these guys from the intelligence. These guys are smarter than you think. They will outsmart you, they will corner you, and before you know it, you can suffer for something that you are not actually a part of. All because you are trying to entertain people. While we share content, let's be very careful about what we share. I know people talk about propaganda. I'm not here to correct nobody. I'm just here to give you hints so that you'll be in your safe corner without inviting unnecessary trouble that can cost you. Finally, lastly, the people that beat the person from the Interpol in South Africa, that challenged him, the biggest problem that you made, you are recording yourselves. How stupid is that? Do you think the government was happy seeing a member of the government being tormented and tossed like that? That is not going to end well. They didn't comment. But one thing I can tell you, in any country, never attack a person in uniform. Never attack a person in uniform because he was on duty. Never attack a person on duty. That one, I don't know. You are recording and you're actually putting your faces there. I'm like, how silly. Never attack a person on duty, regardless of what you do. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. I'm telling you. They might not have spoken about it, but it's not going to end well, that one. I know you laughed at the person of, what's his name, Gambakwe. He walked away, and people were mocking him, whatever. That's no problem. But he excluded himself away. You pushing him away, you saved him. Had he been there, remember, he's very vocal as a reporter. He would have been the main target to be arrested in regard to this. So all I'm telling you is be very, very careful on how you deal with some of these issues. Politicians don't fight. Politicians discuss. They shake hands. Magabonzwa Honorable Chamisa. And you hear him say that. It is an idiot. Yeah, no. Speak respectfully, but bargaining on your side. Mukoma wangu eskafu. They greet, they shake hands. Yet there are people in opposition. They are not sworn enemies. They are people in opposition. That's how you should deal with it. Life is so precious. Life is so important. I don't know what people are learning from South Africa there. Don't bring the culture of South Africa to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is a peaceful nation. We are having our own challenges, but let's deal with them Zimbabwean way. We are a peaceful people. We are not a violent people. So be very careful on how you trade, especially on that. That video, before anything is pursued, please, I beg you by the mercies of God, delete it. Delete it. You can entertain people. You can think you've been an actor, but that can cost you if you are to be tracked. Don't. Whoever shared that video, remove it from the screen. Remove it. Whether you didn't show the video, you just got the voice note out of it, just remove it from your channel. This is politics. Some people have disappeared. You can ask wanting to know where they are. They disappeared. No one will give you an answer. And you don't want to be another victim of the same. We come here, we speak, we talk whatever we want. We are called Murakashi, we are told whatever. Do we sort of like care? No. But we know how to straddle when it comes to politics. We know how to straddle. No wonder why we keep to ourselves. But in this one, I beg you by the mercies of God, remove that video. Whoever shared it, commented on it, just drop it from your channel. It's not a portion, it's not a part of you. Don't use those things for clout. Don't use those things for trying to create content. Those things can get you in trouble. Because if you are caught, they are going to be asked for the interest. Most people are not of interest to the government. If I'm to tell you, you are not of interest. If you're of interest to the government, you will see. Can you see what's happening to Nyoka Yamabunu? That's when we say that a person is of interest to the government. Nyoka Yamabunu is on public domain. Just imagine if it was you and you are caught. By now you would have been in Zimbabwe. And before you know it, maybe disappeared. Why endangering your lives? You don't have direct personal gains. What you desire could be what we desire as well. And what you desire could be what they desire as well. But let's use logic and common sense whenever we are approaching situations. I don't have much to say. I'll be coming to explain more pertaining something else. And what has been given and promised to whoever, I'll be sharing it in the next video. As of now, stay blessed. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Bye for now.